Good morning. Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I'm sorry it was delayed because of some technical
Technical
issues.
reasons.
Yeah.
It happens, sir. Online cases, sometimes it happens.
Yes.
So, a very good morning to you, sir, and thanks for accepting our request to be here in the morning session. And dear friends, we are having Professor Arun Kumar, sir. He is from Department of Commerce and Business Administration from one of the oldest university, Allahabad University. He is a senior faculty member in the department. And today he is going to speak on teaching in VUCA environment, volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguous environment. This is a new topic, an interesting topic to listen to him from a senior faculty member like Professor Arun Kumar, sir. So, sir, now time is yours, sir. You may start. We already 15 minutes late, so I will not take more time in introduction and all. And being a faculty member from one of the oldest university of India, you need no introduction. People know you very well, sir. So now time is yours, sir. You may start. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Professor Singh. Thank you very much for inviting me for this program. And I'm really sorry for this delay by 10-15 minutes because of technical glitches. I couldn't find the email actually. So now I somehow found it was there in the spam. So from spam, I clicked it. Okay. So without wasting much time, are you in a position to see my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, that's great. So here we are. And this is what I'm trying to do. Teaching in VUCA environment. What is this VUCA? Is volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. When I started teaching about 40 years ago, the environment was different, altogether different. We used to go to the university library. You used to go to the teachers, ask so many things, and we were not in a position to tap on the right source of information. Right now, everybody is carrying this smart device, and the person is in a position to say no, whatever he or she is willing to know, just by a few clicks, maybe more than a teacher. So, how to teach in this volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous environment is something we must know. What may be the remedy is the challenge for me and for most of the teachers. Most of the teachers, my colleagues, juniors, those who say that, no, I am unable to handle the students. No, the students are entirely different. They are having different expectations. I don't understand their mindset. What's happening? So I thought, let me go back and understand the nuances, nitty-gritties of it, and then check myself. So what can I do about it? So in a very, say, brief manner, what is this volatility? Speed, magnitude, turbulence, and dynamics of change. Every day, something is changing. My son is teaching. He's a chartered accountant and is teaching online with an academy. He is awfully occupied. He is engaging classes maybe up to 6 hours a day. And a lot of new things he keeps on sharing with me. At times I'm in a position to understand, at times I'm not in a position to understand. So this is uncertainty, unfamiliar territory, and unpredictable outcomes. It's very complex. Multiple interdependencies are there. Global interconnectivity is available. So it's very complex. And all the three are coming with ambiguity, an element of ambiguity also. So multiple perspectives and interpretations of scenarios. So what is this volatility? A little more. Nature and dynamics of change, rapidly changing context and conditions, change dynamics in parental environment also. I remember that, say 35 years ago, when I joined as a university teacher, then we were very free to even shout at a student and punish the student to discipline him or her. Nowadays, you can't afford. The student leaders are there and parental involvement is there. Parents will come. How can you say this to my son? How can you say, or how can you treat my son or daughter like this? So this volatility is also there. And the increased role of digital and social media. You say something and it becomes viral. So you have to be very cautious as teacher, whatever you are saying, whatever you are doing with the students. What is this uncertainty? We know this lack of predictability. Prospects for surprise because some missing data is always there. Always there. You can't be prepared now. Then we have this complexity, interconnectedness of cause and effect forces, multiple factors, difficult to categorize or control. Appropriate disciplinary actions when correcting the misbehavior in the students is really tough job nowadays. And ambiguity is there, yeah. Vague data, subject to multiple interpretations, mixed meanings of conditions, and politically sensitive environment. Everything is a political issue. At least I'm in a position to see this and I'm not sure about the Mizoram. Okay. So this has caused disruption. This looks like a classic lose-lose VUCA environment and is characterized by disruption. What can I do? Now the question is, what can I do? I need to rethink. I need to change. I need to plan. I need to shift. I need to alter. I need to reset. I need to modify. I need to change the course. Then where is the pivot? Where is the center? So I am going to talk about few things which to my mind are mandatory for any professional, for any teacher. What are those things? So my presentation today is based on a very popular book, which is known as The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Few of you might have heard the name. Maybe you have seen or read the book. But today I am focusing on the entire presentation with a slight modification. 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teachers. How a teacher should behave. What may be the role of a teacher? My presentation is available, sir? My presentation is available?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Okay. So now this is 7 habits of highly effective teachers. Very say quickly, what is habit? Is it knowledge, what to do, why to do? A skill, how to do, and then desire, want to do. When all the 3 are intersecting each other, overlapping each other, then it forms habit. So they are the internalized principles and patterns of behavior which we follow, even without awareness. We are not even aware that it's happening. So this is something known as habit, and 3 things are there, and I just want to share the 3 foundational things on the basis of which we will try to explore this pivot. What am I trying to understand? What am I trying to do with the colleagues this morning is to find that pivot, that center, that locus, which will make us strong and help us to sail through in this VUCA environment. So 3 things are there. 1, principles. How do we define principles? They are the natural laws or fundamental truths. Universal, timeless, produce predictable outcomes, external to ourselves. They operate with or without our understanding or acceptance. They're self-evident and enabling when understood. So now I'm just opening. Okay, if somebody is willing to ask something about the principles, yeah, I'll be happy to answer. Any question?
Sir, participants are not having access to audio, so they will be putting their question in the chat box. And so far, they have not given any question. So dear friends, keep on giving questions. So I will keep on asking, sir, whatever you are willing to ask.
I understood. Thank you very much. Then the second fundamental is paradigms. What is this paradigm? The paradigm is the way we see the things. The way I see, analyze, interpret, understand external environment. In this external environment, we have individuals, we have institutions, we have law and order, we have economy, we have society, and a lot of other things. So the way I see it is my paradigm. The way I see, the way I interpret. It's a mental map which I create on the basis of perceived reality. I perceive something, I understand that this is the reality, and now on the basis of this reality, I create a mental map, and now I start navigating through with the help of this mental map. This is paradigm. So two things are clear. One is the principles, universal, etc., etc. Two, certain things on the basis of which I am trying to sail through paradigms. And then we have something known as process. What is this process? It's a set of interrelated activities that interact to achieve a result. Now, for a teacher, we may have certain principles. What may be the principle for a teacher? Let me see the characteristics of principles, natural law or fundamental truths. So a teacher should prepare. This is universal, timeless. This will produce predictable outcomes. If I'll not prepare for the class, then you know what will happen. If I am not cooperative in the class, you know what will happen. If I'm not in a position to accommodate the students up to some extent, as far as possible, as much as required, then you know what will happen. So these are the principles. Similarly, paradigms. How do I see? I remember one experiment which was done somewhere in the Europe. They divided the similar type of students into two groups. Same mental caliber, same capacity. Say about 50 students. They were divided into two groups. 25, one section, 25, another section. Section A was termed as section of brilliant students. And the teachers were given that section A comprising of brilliant students. And then the experts said, we have another section, section B. It's not that much capable. It's not that much sharp or brilliant. And the teachers were supposed to teach in both the sections. Same teachers, same students, same teachers. But the paradigm, the way we see, was entirely different. Section A was being treated as brilliant students, and section B was being treated as not so brilliant students. Over a period of time, scientists, experts observed that the performance of section B was going down. Why? Because they were being treated like that. By whom? With the same teacher. Same teacher. How do you see? This is paradigm and the processes. So for a teacher, how do you interact, how do you open a class, when are you going to allow them to speak, are you listening, and so many other things are there. So three things are there. With the three fundamentals, let's understand the 7 habits. First 3 habits is about the private victory of a teacher. I must understand my role. I must conquer myself first. Before interacting with others, I must have command on myself. So for this, the term is private victory. 3 habits there. One is be proactive. You are the programmer. 2, begin with the end in mind. This is write the program. 3, first things first. Now you run the program. In this manner, a teacher may prepare himself or herself to move ahead for the private victory, to become a very powerful, effective teacher. Okay, let's see one by one. This is be proactive. What is the underlying principle? Individuals are responsible for their own choices and have freedom to choose. People ask, sir, how you become teacher? Was it your first choice or something else? So I honestly tell them that I was trying for the civil services, but I couldn't qualify. So by the execution of plan B, I became teacher. But now I love it. This was my choice. I'm not a teacher by force. Nobody compelled me to become a teacher. So individuals are responsible for their own choices and have the freedom to choose. A student may be disturbing you in the class. You have the choice. You may shout. You may understand the psyche of the student. You may still respond in a very humble manner. You may talk to the student later on, and so on. It's your choice. The students can't compel you to behave in a particular fashion in your class. Okay, we'll explore more. So this is one underlying principle, that you have freedom to choose. You have freedom to choose. I remember, I'm just sharing one instance. So I started my career as a commerce teacher in the Department of Commerce and Business Administration, University of Allahabad. And in the beginning, we were not allowed, we were not, say, being considered as fit to teach MBA students. And I found that in one paper, which was business statistics, a teacher was being invited from some other department of statistics, meaning thereby that within our department, nobody was being treated as competent to teach business statistics. When I realized, oh, business statistics is a vacuum. So I started preparing myself. I took a book which was being referred by the teacher who used to visit our department. I started studying that book. Although we have studied statistics in MCOM and BCom, but this was business statistics, so the tone was slightly different. I started preparing myself. I started attending the classes of these teachers also with his permission. And then, after completing one academic session of this process, this is process. He processes. I approached my head of the department and said, sir, please allow me to engage the class of business statistics. He was not, say, comfortable. Then he said, okay, you take tutorials. You take seminar classes. At that time, you were having tutorials and seminar classes. Then I was allowed to engage the seminar classes. And then later on, based on feedback he got from the students, he allowed me to engage the classes of business statistics in MBA. So what happened? I was having this freedom to choose the subject I'll teach as per the opportunities in the external environment. And I prepared myself for a class which was not allowed to junior teachers like me. Principle. What are the key paradigms? I'm responsible for my behavior and the choices I make in life, whatever I do. You see, I may say, I may feel that I was pressurized, compelled, or maybe I was having no other option. But no, it's not true at all. I'm responsible for my behavior and the choices I make in life. If you want to start with this paradigm, then I understand, I appreciate that prior to this understanding, you might have made certain decisions on the basis of external inputs, on the basis of external pressures. But now, with the underlying principle that you have freedom to choose, and the key paradigm that I'm responsible for my choices, you will be able to choose whatever you wish. Now onwards, at least you are in command, you are in control. And the next key paradigm is I can expand my personal freedom and influence through being proactive. I can plan, I can work as per my choice, and I'll take my decisions. So this is proactivities in a very brief fashion defined at this moment. So the underlying principles are the underlying principle is there. I have freedom to choose. And the key paradigms are I'm responsible for my behavior and I can expand my personal freedom. Then what are the processes? So recognize reactive tendencies and develop proactive response. If you feel that you are often losing your cool in the classroom, what makes you lose your cool? If you feel that you are by and large late for the class, why is it happening? Which habit is not allowing you to go to the class in time? So understand and now work on this process. Increase your circle of influence. Go back to your circle of influence, see what can you do about it. A lot of things are there which are beyond your control. Don't think about it because this is out of your control. If you will focus on that thing, then you will feel victimized. You will be having a feeling of helplessness. So something which is out of your circle of influence, forget about it. Let me see what can I do. Let me see what can I do under the circumstances. If you will keep on working within your jurisdiction, within your capacity, within your capability, then obviously your capability will start increasing. This is increase your circle of influence. Then the third is become a transition figure to benefit yourself and others. So what is this transition figure? Transition figure means that you stop doing something which you don't like, but is happening for the last several decades. Okay, I'm just sharing one thing now. Professor Bartendu may have the similar experience, but yeah, this is the experience I have at least in our university. Whenever a new teacher joins, a lot of senior teachers, they give a lot of their work to this junior teacher. Now you teach this class, you teach that class, without considering the expertise of this teacher. In commerce, we have a lot of papers. So it's a very diversified area, but it's being termed as commerce. This is not the case in social sciences or physical sciences. There you have a specialization. But in commerce, yeah, it's very difficult to tell that I specialize in which area. It's commerce. So I'm expert of law, I'm expert of taxation, I'm expert of management, and then accounts, and then so many other things. So insurance, banking, all. So what used to happen, that a new teacher is being given whatever is left. Now, you teach banking, you teach income tax, you teach management, or whatever. This was happening for the last several decades in our department. 10 years ago, when say about 11 new faculty members were introduced to the department, I became this change agent. At that time, I was a little senior, So I said, I raised my voice. I said, yeah, don't do it. Let's understand which paper they like to teach. Let's have the priority from them. And then as far as possible, let's accommodate as per their capacity, specialization, priority. So this is something like become a transition figure. This will help you. How? Because everybody is happy. People are happy to work with you and they're happy to contribute and they are also happy. So this is become a transition figure. And the fourth one is exercise of human endowments through conscious choice in decision making. What is the human endowment? What makes you different from the animals? You have the power to exercise your choice. You know what's right, what's wrong, and what a human being should do. Animal instincts can be controlled. So this is exercise of human endowments. This being human, we have this power to choose. My response, I can choose. So this is be proactive. For the teacher, act in a classroom, not react. Every teacher needs a pause button. Assume that there is a pause button. So just push it, just wave in front of your face, and you understand that now hold. There is no need to respond immediately. Think about it and then respond. Teachers are free to choose. They have self-awareness. They are conscious. They can imagine, well, if I do this, what will happen? If I'll not do this, what will happen? And they have independent will. They can do whatever they wish to do. So much autonomy is there in this profession, so they have independent will. And be a positive influence on your students' emotional bank accounts. Stay connected with your students emotionally. Understand their thought process and see how can you help them. So this is be proactive. Sir, do you have any question from the participants? Martin, sir, do you have any question from the participants thus far? Okay. So let me move to the second habit. This is habit 2. Begin with the end in mind. Principles, paradigms, and processes. Underlying principle is mental creation precedes physical creation. Just try to understand. Whatever is happening will be created by you mentally first. Whenever even you click a picture, then you see through the lens what kind of picture it will be. So mental creation precedes physical creation. If it is not being done by you, that mental creation is not being done by you, it will happen. It will be done by someone else for you. This is underlying principle. What are the key paradigms? I can choose my own future and create a vision of it. So let me create a vision of my future. And I will create results mentally before beginning any activity. I'll be in a position to see what will happen, how am I going to finish, and then I'll start working in this direction. So the underlying principle is mental creation precedes physical creation. And the key paradigms are I can choose my own future and create a vision of it. And I'll create results mentally before beginning any activity. Now the question is how to do, how to proceed. So key processes, create and apply personal and organizational mission statements as a constitution for daily living. And envision the desired results and important values to guide activities or endeavors. Oh, I'm in a position to see the chat. Okay. So I'm just opening the chat so that I may respond to the questions. Okay, presentation window can no longer be seen. Sorry, it is visible. Yes, sir, you said it all. No questions, sir. Fine.
Sir, one question is there from Nafisa.
Yes, please.
In a sense, the pivot is the teacher itself.
Please repeat the question.
Pivot is the teacher itself. Pivot.
Remote.
I think.
Is it there in the chat room?
It is in Q&A box, sir. Question and answer box. Just next to that.
Okay, 1 second. Let me go to this.
Or I will put it in chat box.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. I put it in chat box.
Yeah, please do that.
Yeah, it's done, sir. In chat box.
So in a sense, the pivot is the teacher. Okay, I got it. So yes, in a way, teacher is pivot for the students. One. If we are talking about this, from where I started, here, what is a pivot for me? How can I sail through? I'm trying to find a pivot for myself. For students, teacher will be a pivot. There is no doubt about it. For students, a lot of pivots are there, not only the teacher, but the parents, the society, and so many other things. But for a teacher, who is the pivot? Where is the pivot? So, from where I'm going to get guidance, I am relying on what? So, the pivot for a teacher, I am saying, on the basis of this concept of the 7 habits, that these 7 habits are the helping hand. They are constituting various aspects of the pivot. So, the first is be proactive. This is maybe one part of the pivot. And the second one is begin with the end in mind. See what kind of teacher you would like to be. Underlying principles are there, key paradigms are there, key processes are there. Create and apply personal and organizational mission statements as constitutions for daily living. Envision the desired results and important values to guide activities or endeavors. So let me give a very simple example from my career. Okay, so at the very initial stages, I got a lot of other opportunities, like to work like proctor, or the dean, or to become the say superintendent of an hostel, and National Social Services Scheme, and a lot of other opportunities. After experiencing all such assignments, I realized that this is not my cup of tea. My administrative acumen is low, and I'm good as teacher as compared to such other activity. I'm not saying that I'm a very good teacher, but yeah, I realize that I'll be able to do better as a teacher as compared to administrator, academic administrator. So what I did, I created a goal for myself, desired result for myself, that I am not going to be academic administrator. I want to be a teacher. Similarly, you may decide that apart from being a teacher, you will be a researcher. You may be a public speaker. You will be something extra, and so on. So, this is something I'm saying, mental creation, which you are doing for yourself. And now, on the basis of this mental creation, you will start working. So, mental creation precedes physical creation. Now, you can choose your own future. You don't want to be academic administrator. You want to be a teacher. I'll create results myself mentally before beginning any activity. I want to be an excellent teacher. I want to be a good teacher. So, what should I do? I must understand the thought process of students. I must understand the expectations of the students, and then start delivering. And then, if I feel that The expectations can be molded. Expectations are not genuine. Expectations can't be fulfilled at this moment. Let me tell them that this time this expectation can't be fulfilled. So this is begin with the end in mind. How would you like to retire as a teacher? You would like to retire as a vice chancellor, as a good researcher, as a good teacher, or what? And then apply key processes, create and apply personal organizational mission statement. Now you have this mission in front of you. Keep on visiting it, envision the desired results and the important values to guide activities or endeavors. So this is habit 2 for a teacher. Teacher needs a destination and a compass. That is the desired goal. Teacher should have a mission statement, a teacher's mission statement. Are teachers principle centered? Principles we have already understood. The end should always be what is best for the students under your care. What is best for the institution you are serving. Planning ahead always makes things better. So this is habit 2. So in chat, I have something. Yes. So this is Anupam Sharma. Sir, has the current research dispensation justified the adoption of post-positive paradigm in qualitative inquiries? Okay. I'm not sure. Recent validation, I'm not sure. I've not studied about it. This is something based on a very time-tested fundamental principles, a book which is being referred by everyone in the corporate world. So this I have created on the basis of that book. So the latest researches, I don't have any idea. Okay, so this is habit 2. Now, friends, on the basis of this, what may be the mission statement? My mission is to champion others to grow personally, professionally, emotionally, and spiritually by using my compassion, my unique perspective, and my belief in others' inherent goodness, integrity, and enormous potential. Maybe you may have your own mission statement, but you have to dig it out. It will be there in your heart. You have to discover it. And then you may be in a position to have your compass, your direction, and you will start working in that direction. This is habit 2. Any question? Okay, no question in the chat or Q&A. You can start this, say, thought process by pondering what vision do you have for yourself? What vision do you have for the students you teach? And then you may list 5 actions you have to take. You have to do so that you may go closer to that vision. Yeah, there is something like in the chat box, like we see. No questions are fine. That's great. Thank you very much. So with the help of this, let me move to habit 3. Put first things first. What are the key paradigms or the principles and the processes? So an underlying principle is effectiveness requires balancing important relationships, roles, and activities. You will be effective if you are in a position to strike a balance between the 3 things. 1, relationships, as a colleague, as a teacher, as an employee. Again, apart from this, as a father, as a son, as a husband, or maybe as a daughter, as a wife, and so on. So effectiveness requires balancing important relationships, roles, and activities. What are the key paradigms? Things which matter most should never be at the mercy of things which matter least. Define what is going to consume your time. If you feel that this doesn't need your time, don't give your time to that. Where should you devote your time should be considered well, and then your time should be diverted towards that. Then I improve my PPC balance within my circle of influence. Circle of influence we have understood. What is this PPC balance? Is again a concept which is Stephen given. P is the production, the actual work you do. PC is the production capability. Production capability is your ability to deliver, produce. So as a teacher, how much you have experienced, the kind of exposure you are carrying with you, the kind of range of study you have, the kind of updation you keep on doing as far as your area is concerned will be PC, production capability. If you will be up to date, then you will be able to produce better. So I will improve PPC balance. You cannot only produce without working on your production capability, and you cannot keep on working on production capability alone without producing. So you have to strike a balance between the two within your circle of influence. The third paradigm is I will focus on important instead of urgent. We'll talk about it. I'll fulfill my mission by acting on important goals in my key roles. So few roles I'm going to play as a teacher, as a colleague, as an employee, and so on. These are my say official roles, and then I have a lot of personal roles. So few key roles are there in my life, and in every role, what am I supposed to do? How am I devoting myself, my time, resources, energy to accomplish those goals in every role? If a particular role will get ignored, you can understand the impact of that. So every role has to be considered well, and then in every role, small goal, little goal today has to be perceived, understood, and accomplished. So what are the processes? Focus on the truly important and say no to unimportant. We need to understand what is important, what's not important. Focus on quadrant 2 activities. What is this quadrant 2? Then I'm going to talk. Plan weekly and implement daily based on your mission, roles, goals, and priorities. Planning has to be done on a weekly basis. This is what Stephen is suggesting. And implementation should be done on a daily basis on the basis of your mission, roles, goals, and priorities. Establish priorities in the classroom and at home, both. Balance academics with social skills, character education, health, and self-esteem. Be an advocate for students. Be an advocate for the students. Everybody, now I'm not sure about the Mizoram University or the rest of the world, but I have experienced it most of the time that the students are being accused. The students are being cursed. Now we say, no, the students' quality kharab ho gaya. No, now we are not getting that kind of stuff. The students are not responding, etc., etc. So learn this. Now, this is quadrant 2, and a time management matrix is a wonderful tool which Stephen has given, and I'm using it for the last 30 years, and I'm getting benefited with the help of this in so many ways. Let me very quickly define what is urgent and what's important. Urgent is which requires immediate attention. Maybe in your opinion, and maybe in the opinion of others. That's all. This is urgent. You have to attend that. You may feel like attending. You may be required to attend that, or others may pressurize you to attend that. This is urgent. Then what is important? Important is something which contributes to your mission statement, goals, priorities. It's not related to others. It's related to you. This is the difference between urgent and important. Let's be very clear about it. If you have any question related to the difference between urgent and important, yeah, let's clarify that at this moment. Any question? Any query? Okay, so I'm assuming that it's clear to us. Now, where my time is getting consumed is something I must understand and know. In quadrant 1, this is 1. In quadrant 2, this is 2. In quadrant 3 or 4. 1 is saying something which is urgent and important as well. Both. 2 is saying something important but not urgent at all. 3 is urgent but not important. 4, neither urgent nor important. 4 quadrants are there. Okay, what will fall in this quadrant 1? It will be crisis, pressing problems, deadline-driven projects, meetings, and preparations. 11 baje you are supposed to meet, so it's a meeting. Deadline. Tomorrow we have examination. It's a deadline-driven project. So you have no other option but to manage for this examination. Get the paper printed, get the paper arranged from the controller, have the answer books, make necessary arrangements, be there, etc., etc. Pressing problem, you have to send a question paper, you are not doing it, so do it now. Or otherwise it will become crisis. You will get call from Professor Singh, and then Professor Singh say your paper has not reached, so send it by 4 p.m. It's a crisis now. So urgent and important is quadrant 1. Then what is this quadrant 3? Which is urgent but not important. Needless interruptions, unnecessary reports, unimportant meetings, phone calls, mail, and other people's minor issues. Then what will fall in this quadrant 4? Trivia, busy work, some phone calls, time wasters, escape activities, irrelevant mail, and excessive TV. Oh, so now we are left with only quadrant 2. Quadrant 2 will have planning, prevention, production capability activities, recognizing new opportunities like I shared, business statistics, relationship building with the students, colleagues, other members of the society and family, renewal and recreation. So, to become a focused teacher, a teacher who is in a position to find his or her pivot, what should I do? What is my locus? We need to spend time more on quadrant 2. Planning, prevention, production capability, recognizing new opportunities, relationship building, renewal, recreation. Instead of spending time in quadrant 3, I understand that most of the teachers don't spend time in quadrant 4, or rather they are not having time, enough time. They're awfully occupied. Now, to find time for the quadrant 2 activity, they may recognize one or the 2 quadrant 3 activities, reduce spending time on quadrant 3 activities, and then they'll be free to attend some quadrant 2 activities. Quadrant 1 will automatically take its time. This is something known as time management matrix. Okay, wonderful. I have a question. How to advocate for an accused student? Okay, as you mentioned, to be an advocate. Wonderful. Now, 2 situations are there. 1, be advocate of your students, meaning thereby that speak for the students also. Nobody is there when the meeting is going on to represent the students in the true sense. You may request the students' representative to be with you, but how far they'll be able to speak up, how far they'll be able to communicate well, this we can understand. So I'm saying that in general, be advocate of your student. Now, the next question, the precise question, accurate question is how to educate for an accused student. If you feel that the accused student deserves apology, deserves forgiveness once, if you feel that one chance should be given to this student and the student will improve, why not? Be educated. Take responsibility. Assure administration on your personal basis also that, yeah, it will improve. I'm just sharing one example. Once I was working as an invigilator and the flying squad came. Someone who was doing this cheating job at the back end of the hall took this printed slip and threw. This printed slip fall very close to a student who was sitting in front of the in the front rows of the hall. I observed, I saw everything. I was not in a position to identify the guy who had thrown this. Okay. But I was aware that this guy with whom this printed slip is being collected is not the guilty. He is not the guilty student. The flying squad said, no, he is the culprit. He is accused. So he must be booked for using unfair means. I stood with the student. I said, no, sir. He has not done anything wrong. He is not mischievous student. The slip has come from the backside and he should not be punished. There was slight, say, difference of opinion between me and the flying squad, and then flying squad agreed that, sir, if you are saying that now he has not done the say the use of this printed slip, then we are with you. So humbly you can put your point and be with the accused student. Does it answer your question, sir?
Yes, sir.
Dr. Sadiq, does it answer your question?
Dr. Sadiq.
Okay. If you have any other question, please ask. So I'm just continuing. So now I'm say again asking, do you have any question related to this time management matrix? It's a very powerful tool. Okay, no question, sir, no question. Now, no, sir, it's clear. Thank you very much, Dr. Sadiq. Any question related to this time management matrix? It is a wonderful, very, very powerful tool. Even Professor APJ Abdul Kalam used to follow this. Modi ji is following this. Sonia ji is following this. Everybody, every great leader of the world is using this time management matrix. Every manager, every business tycoon is using this. They are focusing on Q2, quadrant 2 activities, planning, prevention, production capability, recognizing or creating new opportunities, relationship building, renewable recreation. From where they are in pursuit of save time for this, from quadrant 3, and quadrant 1 will demand its own time. You can't help it. Okay. So let's see what will happen if you're spending most of your time in quadrant 1. It will lead to stress, burnout, crisis management, and you will be always putting out fires. If you will spend most of your time in quadrant 3, it will be a short-term focus, crisis management, chameleon character, see goals and plans as worthless, feel victimized, out of control, shallow or broken relationships. If you're spending most of the time in important form, then it will be total responsibility, fired from jobs, dependent on others or institutions for basics. And if you're spending most of your time in important two, it will lead to vision, perspective, balance, discipline, control, and lesser crises. Okay. So, what kind of short-term and long-term goals you may have? What is the most productive thing that you can be doing with your time right now? This will define your short-term or long-term goals. What can you do in the next 10 minutes? Today, this week, this month, this term, this year, or in the next 10 years? Just keep on defining, and then you will be having a clear roadmap. So this was private victory. I'm just going back to that slide. Okay, I'm just missing the number of the slide. No issues. I'll click them. Okay, here we are. Private victory, be proactive. You are the programmer. You can decide your future. Habit 2, begin with the end in mind. Write the programmer. You know that you're a programmer. Now write the program. And habit 3, run it. So as a computer metaphor, you are capable enough to do the job. So this is private victory. Now, let's go to public victory. Okay, I'm just trying to find a slide where it is. Yeah, here we are. This is public victory, means victory with the students, not over the students, not over the colleagues, not over any other person, but with them. This is public victory, the art of influencing and win with others. So we have 3 habits again. One is win-win, habit 4. Habit 5, seek first to understand, then to be understood. And then habit 6, that is synergize. Very quickly, we are left with only 15 minutes. So very quickly, what is this win-win? The underlying principle is effective long-term relationships require mutual benefit. There is no doubt about it. Key paradigms, I seek the benefit of others as well as my own. I get better results in my relationships by cooperating interdependently than by competing independently. Let me work together instead of competing independently. And what are the key processes? Balance courage and consideration in seeking benefit, and persist in looking for win-win outcomes despite past win-lose conditioning. For a teacher, adopt the attitude, listen, let me listen to you first, or help me to understand with students and parents. Now this is the win-win attitude. Acha, what is the issue? What are you trying to say? Let me understand, I could understand. And in this manner, they'll be encouraged to speak and work with you. Positive discipline, how can you do that? So, let the students win. No power struggle. They are happy. This is what you want to do. What do they want to do? It's their class as well. Let's understand and then find a way out. Maybe third alternative. Moving the students from me to we. It's not about me, but it's about we. How are we going to work together? Class meetings where agreements rule. Agreements means that this is the understanding, this is the protocol. Are you agreeing with the protocol? If you're not agreeing, let me change the protocol. Let me do it some other way. Like today I experienced, I have a method which is known as flipped classroom, which I use in most of my MBA classes. So what is this flipped classroom? Most of you must be knowing about it. That I have my video films duly recorded for every lecture. They are available on my website or the website of the institute as well. and the lesson plan is available to everybody. Everybody knows that what are we going to do tomorrow. So the students are required to watch the video, go through the literature. Literature is also available with them in the form of a handout, or the say prescribed chapter number, and so on, or maybe case study. So they're required to go through the literature, watch the video, and come prepared in the classroom. This is flipped classroom. Now we'll start the class with a question answer session and discussion. Yesterday I announced that those who will not watch the video or come prepared will be requested to be seated at the back end of the class. And those who are ready, prepared, watch the video and consulted the literature will be allowed to occupy the front row, seats from the front row backwards. Today, to my utter surprise, everybody was prepared. Nobody was willing to go to the back side of the class. So what happened? This was an agreement which we agreed. I said, okay, is it okay with you? So everybody said, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. And then I said that if you have not watched the video, then I'll not address you. I'll not answer your question. Why? Because you have not done the job. So those who have done the job, those who have watched the video, those who are prepared for the class must get this opportunity to get answered first. Why? Because they are doing their job. So everybody agreed. Class meetings where agreements rule, not you, but we. This is think, wait a minute. Then habit 5 is seek first to understand, then to be understood. Underlying principles, diagnosis must precede prescription. Please understand what's going on, why it happened, what happened, etc., etc. Diagnosis must precede prescription. Understanding comes through listening. I must understand what happened, and then I'll be in a position to know the real scenario. What are the key paradigms? I assume I don't fully understand and I need to listen. Only then I'll be able to understand. If I listen first to understand, then I'll be better understood. This is so fundamental. If you will understand, then the other party will also try to understand your point of view. If you don't understand the point of view of the other person, then the other party will never be ready to listen to your point. What are the key processes? Use empathic listening skills. For a teacher, recognize your prejudices in the classroom and work to overcome them. All students want to belong. Avoid miscommunications. Everybody in the class wants to be, part of the class. Practice empathic listening, the highest form of listening. Give honest feedback to the students and parents. No prejudice, nothing I have in mind against a particular person, religion, caste, sect, etc., etc. I'm just independent. So this is habit 5. Now we have habit 6, synergize. Let me synergize with the students so that we may work together. The paradigm is, principle is the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. If the class will work with me and I'll work with the class, we'll be having a lot of benefits out of it. What are the key paradigms? I value the differences in others and seek the third alternative. Let me see where the difference is, what the students are expecting from me, what administration is expecting from me, what am I supposed to do, and then value the differences and then work. Working together cooperatively takes time but produces better long-term results. If I'm in a position to cooperate with you, then obviously I'll be able to get cooperation from you. The process: apply win-win thinking, habit 4, empathic communication, habit 5, to seek synergize outcomes, including the third alternative, that is habit 6 we will talk about. Use synergy ground rules to discover the third alternative. This is habit 6. This is what we are talking. And in the classroom scenario, work together with teachers, parents, students, and administrators. Your colleagues, teachers, parents, students, and administrators. Value and celebrate differences. Involve people in the problem to work out the solution together. Great playground strategy. Never give up. The small victories lead to larger ones. This is synergize. And this leads to public victory. And the seventh habit, this is Shabdusho. This encompasses the entire thing. What is the underlying principle? Production results. It requires a development of production capability, resources. This I've already shared with you. So what are the resources with teacher? How well I am equipped. Am I tech savvy? Do I have latest understanding? Am I up to date? Etc. etc. Key paradigms. I'll increase my effectiveness through personal renewal in each of the four dimensions of life. What are the four dimensions we are going to talk about? So we need to work on all the four dimensions of life. Every religion is talking about the four dimensions of life. I'll continuously improve. The key processes, constantly develop and renew personal resources to create better personal PPC balance. Now we understand it. Is set and achieve goals for renewal in the physical, mental, spiritual, and social emotional dimensions. These are the four dimensions: physical, mental, spiritual, and social emotional. So this is all encompassing. For a teacher, renew yourself physically. Are you physically fit? Social. Are you in a position to communicate with others? You are accepted in society. Mental. How upgraded you are. Spiritually, are you connected with the God Almighty, the power? Nurture the relationship with the students. Begin your day with the students with some quiet time to reflect. Always grow. Be a better teacher tomorrow than you were today. So these are the 7 habits. PQ is a physical quotient. Social emotional is EQ. For physical quotient, you need exercise, nutrition, and stress management. For social emotional, you need service, empathy, synergy, intrinsic security, EQ. This is to love. Mental is reading, visualizing, planning, and writing. This is IQ. To learn. And spiritual, value clarification and commitment, study and meditation. This is SQ, that is spiritual quotient. And this is to leave a legacy. So to live, to love, to learn, and to leave a legacy, a teacher has to keep on working day in and day out. So the overview: dependence, 3 habits, private victory, leading to independence, independence, leading to interdependence, 3 habits, 4, 5, and 6. And then you have habit 7, all encompassing. So friends, that's all from my side this morning. Thank you very much for giving this patience, listening to me. And now you can ask whatever you wish.
Thank you, sir, for a nice presentation. So friends, although sir has already taken few of the questions from you, but still towards the end, there may be some questions which must be coming to your mind. So just put it up in your chat box so that sir may respond to those. Okay, so all thanks only are coming, sir. Questions you have already taken up, all the questions whichever came in between. So it was a bit interactive in a sense that they kept on asking questions, you kept on responding in the way. The problem with this system actually, sir, when we allow access to audio, sometime by mistake, audio of someone starts and some noise starts coming, that disturbs. So in this system, interaction is a problem. But anyway, the session was a bit interactive because students, not students, our colleagues only, they had some questions and you responded to them. So thank you, sir, for on the deliberation, and thanks for accepting our invitation to be here as resource person. And I hope our association will continue further. In future also, we'll call you, sir.
Yes, Professor Singh, thank you very much for inviting me. And it will be a pleasure for me to be with you as and when required. I'll be happy to do. I'll be happy to do the job.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Thank
sir,
you.
in your presentation, you once mentioned that you are having a website and some resources are there.
Yes,
Is it accessible only to your students, or we can also access?
it's reserved for the students only.
Okay, students only. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So, sir, we are recording this session also, and towards the end of the session, I will share with you the recording of this session.
Thank you.